Fearlessness shall mark our deed. Long before the night.
Hi everyone, I hope you will all enjoy this review of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which we've played on the PS4 Pro. At the time of making this review, we've completed the main storyline and collected around 40% of all collectibles. The story itself will take you around 80 hours to finish if you decide to sidetrack as little as possible. But completing every trophy, side event and finding every collectible will keep you busy for many hours more. Having this review ready before release gave us countless sleepless nights, and I hope I won't fall asleep making this for you. Your story starts in your protagonist's Norwegian hometown and brings you through many regions as the story unfolds. Ubisoft did a great job mixing a historical Viking theme into Assassin's Creed. The way they both intertwine is done perfectly. For those of you who know something about Viking history, you will truly enjoy this story. The culture, religion and traditions of the Vikings are constantly coming by on your screen and is told in maybe around 20 hours of cutscenes, where you in times have the power to choose the outcome of part of the story. As can be expected from any Assassin's Creed game, the maps are really huge. The first map or country you play in is already bigger than most games' entire map. But after that first map, you get a much larger map to explore. In every map you can find and unlock mysteries, artifacts and wealth. Wealth give you things like gear, abilities and upgrade materials. Artifacts are the collectibles in Valhalla. And mysteries are mostly mini-quests or puzzles that give you small rewards or skill points. Finding and completing all these objectives will take a huge amount of time. It took me between 3 to 4 hours for each area to get all of them. In terms of combat, you have a choice of one- and two-handed weapons and a secondary weapon as a bow. The usual combat mechanics apply, such as light and heavy attacks, bow attack, dodge, parry and block. You get special attack moves named abilities that you unlock through finding hidden books, and these abilities are divided between range and melee, from which you can equip 4 with a total of 8. These abilities use adrenaline and are all high-powered moves that can really help you defeat bosses or larger amount of enemies. You can unlock more adrenaline slots through the skill tree for a total of 4 slots. I sometimes forgot it myself, but players should not forget the importance of the bow. In times it can really help you to defeat that difficult enemy, as it highlights weak points on enemies, which can help you stun them quicker to do a final heavy damage blow. You can increase your health in the skill tree and increase the amount of healing items you can carry by upgrading your pouch in the inventory. You will need to loot chests and NPC to quickly get enough to upgrade it. It's best to fill your health and healing items before quests, as sometimes you will encounter difficult bosses or sections in the game. But even when you're battling, you can search for healing items in the forms of berries or plants, but I personally found it easier to do it before questing. Be sure to pick up everything you can through your playthrough, as you will need many materials to upgrade your equipment and settlement. When first seeing the skill tree, you will already know this game will take a long time to complete. When you fill up your XP bar, you will get 2 skill points to spend on the skill tree. In the skill tree, you can divide your points in a melee, ranged and stealth tree. In these trees, you will be able to unlock special skills that are related to the respective skills, and you will be able to increase the stats of your character by upgrading attack damage, total health, defense and so on. Even when you've completed the story, you won't have unlocked the entire skill tree. That's how big it is. You also have your own settlement, which you can upgrade whenever you found enough materials. You can freely choose what buildings to build or upgrade, and I can only tell you that it's quite important to do so. Besides basic important structures like a blacksmith, where you can upgrade your gear, it's possible to build so many buildings like a bakery for buffs, a shipyard to improve your ship, a cartographer, a stable, and much more. It's not only fun to see your settlement grow in size, but it's also very helpful on your adventure. The visuals for a game this size are very good. Of course, the game is less beautiful than some other AAA titles out there, but when this is the case, most of the times these games are much smaller in size and thus needs to be taken into consideration. Nice character models, beautiful environments where you can see miles on the horizon, and many beautiful types of landscapes make it a truly epic experience. In terms of sound, the music in this game is very suitable for this theme and makes the package complete, with relaxing music at times when enjoying a sunset and the drums beating when you're doing a raid. So much thought has gone into creating a mood with sound effects and music together with all the different foreign English accents during the cutscenes and the entire game. The first few hours playing Valhalla, the game can be a little bit overwhelming. The large map, enormous skill tree, settlement upgrades and much more. Since not everything is available for you from the start, you slowly get used to the mechanics and options in the game, which thankfully is done this way, or else you would drown in all there is to do. The more than 130 story quests primarily revolve around you getting allies in all parts of the country to reach your final goal. What I particularly enjoyed was participating in raids and storming castles with your army. Storming castles is done in a unique way that is unseen in any other game. It's very enjoyable, but like most other activities in Assassin's Creed games, nearing the end of your playthrough, even the most unique game aspect tend to become a little bit repetitive because you've experienced them quite often. Also, because the game story is so large, you might find some quests as a repetitive chore. Personally, I didn't find this annoying, as the story itself really caught my attention, and cutscenes mixed with exploring and questing was done in such a manner that I was always looking forward to see how the story would unfold itself. Besides the main storyline quests, there are so many things to do it's difficult to name them all. That way, if you become tired of the story, you can sidetrack for as long as you want to explore all the things this vast world has to offer. Things I personally enjoyed the most, besides the story, was completing the mysteries and trying to find complete armor stats and weapons obtained through wealth. Finding the best armor and weapons, even though mentioned on the map, was often quite difficult but enjoyable, as you will need to think out of the box sometimes to reach them. I'm sure some of our viewers also enjoy the simpler things AC has to offer, such as fishing, drinking games, finding and synchronizing all spots, flighting challenges, hunting, and much more. Everything you do one way or another will gain you additional skill points or upgrade materials for your weapons, armors, and settlement, so it will never feel like you're wasting your time doing something in the game itself. Even though there are some consequences to your choices that make the story unfold a little bit differently, for me personally it would not be a reason to replay the entire story. I guess hardcore players will want to know every possibility, but casual players won't be very interested. Even though I won't replay the story, the game is so large that it's an excellent value for money. We haven't encountered many bugs or problems throughout our 100 hours plus playthrough. The game only crashed twice, there were 2 times we couldn't proceed in the story because of the bug, and once in a while there's also some frame rate loss, which for me is not very disturbing since it happened so little. The game generally runs very smooth most of the time. All things considering, the very large story mode and side activities, a very beautifully created world, near flawless gameplay, all in a balanced package, I will rate this game a 9 out of 10 points. For AC fans out there, this should be an instant buy, and even for those who are slightly interested in the genre, I can only recommend it since the value for money is very high. This is a much larger and better game experience for recently released games than you can find in stores right now. Special thanks to Ubisoft for helping us with an early access version of the game. I hope you enjoyed this review, and please let us know by subscribing and leaving a comment. Peace out and game on. See you next time.